So welcome back, everyone. My next guest has been on the air with me a few times now. I'm really excited about having him on. I have with me Lauren, and I hope I say it right, Kutzko.
You got it.
I get it. I'm getting it now. And you are the owner of the Entrepreneur Source. Welcome back to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about what you do, what we're going to talk about. You really, you're almost even considering having your own show, and you could. Let's talk a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, thanks so much, Carol. Right, so I've been here before with the Entrepreneur Source. The Entrepreneur Source has been around for about 30 years. I'm actually one of about 150 different coaches that are around the country, and we're a coaching firm that specializes in helping people find self-employment options. So I'm a franchise consultant and a business coach, and what we do is work with our clients to help them find the right opportunity that matches their criteria and the best way to finance their business, including paying themselves through the startup phase of the business.
Well, it's pretty amazing, and there's a lot of people out there, especially, we were just talking about the economy. When it gets scary, you're going to lose a job or what have you. Maybe you're somebody who has children that you would like to help them out and getting into their own businesses. Working for yourself, that's really what it's all about, right?
That's right. I mean, one of the things we're seeing right now is we are seeing a lot of baby boomers that are retiring, and then you've got their kids, the millennials, that are struggling to find their place in the workforce. So a lot of times they're partnering together to open a business, and they're sharing the efforts and the time and the energy of the child, but then the capitalization of the parent.
How about those people out there that retired? Is that a person out there too that might have retired that said, you know what, that's not really what I wanted to do?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's thousands of people who have retired that are enjoying it. They're happy. They're traveling. They're playing golf. They love it, right?
I'd like to meet that one. Go ahead.
They're loving what they're doing. But there also are quite a few people who have retired and realized, gosh, I can only play that many rounds of golf or whatever. I'd actually rather be continuing to sharpen my skills and use my knowledge and learn more. And so a lot of them are deciding, well, I don't want to have to wake up every day and go to the office and sit in traffic and commute. But if I own a local business, maybe even a part-time option or a semi-absentee option, I can both be involved in the community, do the things I like to do, build some more wealth and equity, leave a legacy for my kids, and be involved in something every day that I care about.
And real quickly, there's also that other person I want to bring up too, just while I'm talking, is that there's also people who got into a situation, they were in their over 50s, and they lost their job, or they moved into a different situation where they lost something, and they now have not been able to recoup from the last financial crash that we had, and they need to find something for themselves. That's a good person too, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's actually one of the things I wanted to talk to today, is specifically about how do you finance a business startup. There's kind of this myth out there. People have heard a lot of people say that you can't get funds or financing to start a business. And in fact, about only 38% of people that walk into their local bank and ask for a business loan will be approved for that loan to open a business. And so it's a myth because there are so few people that actually are successful in the channels that they try. But part of it is they don't know how to form the right business plan, and they don't know the right places to look for the startup financing. And so that's one of the things that I help with and I wanted to talk about today.
We're going to do that. Also, I want to do your giveaway, which this is cool. We're going to open up the lines to the audience for everyone to get entered in to win. Well, we're going to do 5 of the books, right? We want to give at least 5 of these away. His book is called Your Career 2.0. It's a survival guide for the battered career and investor syndrome.
That's right. And like I said, there's about 150 of us around the country that work with clients all the time who are exploring self-employment options, and we've been around for over 30 years doing this, and we got together and wrote the book dealing with the main obstacles and fears and emotional ups and downs that go with starting a business. And we put it in a book, and it helps to go along with the consulting practice that we do.
Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone that you know that could use something like this. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You have to do consultations with people. Do you do free consultations?
Absolutely. All of my coaching and consulting is free. There's no charge, there's no cost, there's no risk, there's no obligation to meet with me and have me help you learn what opportunities are out there that meet your criteria.
So it's a free service, basically.
Completely free.
It's a free service, so it's definitely worth it. Give him a call. His number is 602-900-9213. right?
That's right.
And that's one. Okay. And then you can also check him out on his website, which is bizstartuphelp.com. It's BIZ startuphelp.com. Okay. And keep on calling. Our number here is 602-277-5369. So let's talk about it. That is one of the things that people are, they almost don't even think about it because they say, I could never get a loan for that.
That's right. And loaning money, borrowing money is only one way to do it. And there, like I said, there's quite a few options available in the lending world. The Small Business Administration has a mandate from the federal government to help small businesses get started and to grow. And what they do, they don't lend money. The government doesn't lend money, but your tax dollars do go to help the SBA guarantee against the loans that are lent by lenders. And so a lot of my clients, what they're doing with a decent credit, a credit score above 680, and a good business plan, particularly if they do end up wanting to open a franchise that I help connect them with, that franchise business plan will count with the lender as knowledge and experience that they need to open that business. And so the interest rates are around prime plus 2.75, so 6.5% roughly. And a lot of my clients are getting approved for loans around $150,000 with a 10-year term and a 10% equity injection. So it doesn't take much money, much of your own capital to get what you need to start a business. Most of my clients are opening businesses that cost way less than $150,000 to open, which gives them cushion for the working capital and to pay themselves a salary as they're getting the business going.
Well, so you said something that perked my ears up, okay? You said that if they have a good business plan. Mm-hmm. So as a coach, if somebody is thinking, I would like to do this, I don't know what I would want to do you also help them with, creating that business plan to help them get into getting that loan? Do you work with them on that?
Absolutely. So that's what I'm here for. So I'm not a consultant. I don't write the business plan for you, but part of why I'm a coach is because it's up to my clients to discover from themselves first of all, what their goals are, what they're trying to achieve through business ownership. A lot of businesses fail. There's a huge failure rate in small business ownership. And part of the problem is because people drive down the street or they go out to lunch and they have a good slice of pizza and they think, man, I want to open a pizza restaurant. Wouldn't it be cool to have a bar with my friends? Right? But they realize that their actual goals are they want to coach their kid's soccer game or they want to travel some more, something like that. And if you have any work-life balance goals, opening a restaurant is not the right answer. So we're going to start with what are your goals for business ownership, and then we're only going to look at business models that help you achieve those goals. Another really important part is the role that the owner plays in the business, right? So if you've been an engineer your whole life, you've been managing operations behind the scenes, you don't want to go into a business that requires the business owner to be heavily involved in sales unless you're really ideally looking for something that you have a complete career change, right? So work-life balance, role the owner, those are two really important things. Your finances, we talked a little bit about that. And then finally, the last thing really is what the products and services are that the business does. People always mistake that as the number one thing to look for in a new business, but in reality, it's the fourth out of four things to look at.
Wow, it's almost the last thing to look at. Now, you do it's the last thing.
Fourth out of four.
Oh, 4 out of 4. I didn't even listen. So, okay, this is a free service that you are doing for everybody. You get paid by, obviously, somebody, the franchise that you ended up connecting with. Is that how that works?
Yeah, like I said, the Entrepreneur Source has been around for about 30 years, and we have relationships with about 170 different franchise businesses in 30 to 40 different industries.
It's amazing because not everything is just ice cream or a pizza joint. There's much out there.
And because it's not an ice cream store or a pizza joint, you don't see it when you're driving down the highway. So there's these business-to-business, repeat, recurring revenue businesses that you go and you service your clients where they are. We are great businesses to own. Very low overhead to get started, less than $75,000, and you can create a very profitable business for yourself.
And he helps you every step of the way. You can talk to him. This is a free service. The phone number to call him is 602-900-9213. His website is bizstartuphelp.com. Our lines are open here, and everyone who's calling in, we've got 5 of the books that we want to give away. It's Your Career 2.0, a survival guide for the battered career and investor syndrome. So call here at 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. We have less than a minute. What do you want to go to the break with?
Well, when we come back, I'd love to talk about how to use your retirement funds to start a
Let's talk a little bit about that. There are several ways that you can get into starting your own business, and a lot of us need that. If it's not you, maybe it's you've got a son or daughter that could use it. Maybe you know someone. Give us a call here. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Everyone's getting entered into the Win the Book. It's 5 books that we're giving away. It's Your Career 2.0, a survival guide for the battered career and investor syndrome.
If I traded it all.
So welcome back. And we're talking with Lauren. I just love the fact that we had that ad on. Now, you're a free service, so you can't even say you do free. You're free.
The whole thing is free.
The whole thing is free for everybody. The consultation and everything as you're working with him. We want to get out his phone number. You can call him direct at 602-900-9213. And our lines are open here. We've got everyone getting entered in to win his book. It's the book that they wrote together. All the very few of you. There's only 150 coaches across the country, which is not very many. But you all wrote the book, and we've got it. 5 people are going to win. It's Your Career 2.0. It's a survival guide for the battered career and investor syndrome. So our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Everyone call in. If it's you or someone you know, this is a great book for everybody to. What are they going to learn from the book?
It basically just goes through exactly what we coach in, like I said, the emotional ups and downs of what the challenges are of starting a business, what the differences are between having your career in self-employment versus in the traditional job market, what some of the fears are related to finances, how to get the right kind of support from your family and friends when you're doing something big like this. It's not an easy decision, and like we talked about, there's a lot of failure in small business, and so it's about building your team with the right people so that you can support yourself through the ups and downs.
Well, one of the ways to be successful is to do something that's the right one for you, because you can go in and do something and it's not the right one for you, and of course it's not going to it's going to fail. But if you do this process with you, you're going to find something that should be a fit for you, which makes that even better.
That's right. I mean, there's thousands of franchise business models out there. There's 500 on the Entrepreneur Magazine list of the top 500 franchises. We work with 170. When I show my client businesses after we've met a few times and I understand who they are and what they're looking for, I usually show them 3 businesses. So 3. So you go through the process, you spend the time up front, and you end up with 3 models that you know are going to be a good match for you.
Now, his website again is bizstartuphelp.com. His phone number direct is 602-900-9213. Our lines are open here. Call in, get entered in to win the book. We've got 5 of them we're giving away, 602-277-5369. So you said that you can actually use your retirement funds to get money, or how did you say that we could do that?
Yeah, that's right. Not everybody knows this, but there's a program that was set up by the IRS called ROBS, Rollover for Business Startup. You can actually use your retirement funds by leaving them in a retirement account, but investing the money into your own business instead of investing them into publicly held companies or mutual funds in the stock market.
So you're investing in yourself.
That's right. And so, a lot of people believe that the stock market is the best place for long-term growth. It's the least risky place that you can put your money for the long term, which over historical returns, that's what we've seen, right? If your time horizon is 30 years, then that is the best place to leave your money. When there's things going on around you, maybe like an election year or other things, and you think, gosh, I'm not really sure if I want to leave my short-term investments in there, or when there's other things going on in your life, like you're waking up every day and wanting to hit your head against the wall because you'd hate your job, then you think maybe it would make more sense to roll a little bit of my retirement into myself and see if I can get my own business to actually grow faster than the meager returns that we see in the stock market sometimes.
So when someone works with you, do you just sort of talk to them to find out which way would be best for them?
As far as the financing goes? Right. Yeah, we'll do a comprehensive picture and profile, of their finances. So we're going to talk through credit score, assets, liabilities, all the different parts of their net worth, and determine what is going to be the best route for them. And then I work with different financial partners also who will help them figure out the best thing. So there's security-backed lines of credit, portfolio loans, there's retirement, there's the SBA. Some people will use their home equity line of credit to do the same thing. They all have different pros and cons, and so part of it is just helping to understand the landscape.
How about if somebody's maybe doesn't have a lot of money? but they're listening to this going, I really want to do this. How can they work? How can they get involved?
Sure. It's a pretty big misconception that you have to have a lot of money to open a business. It's not like people are writing huge checks and paying cash to start businesses, right? They are financing them. But it's also not like you want to start a business if you're in a particular difficult financial time in your life. Now, when that happens, one of my last clients opened a tutoring company in Phoenix, and he was going through a very difficult time from a credit standpoint. When we first met, he thought that he had great credit and found that when we went and ran his credit, that he actually had an error that was created when he was living in a different state. And so it took 3 or 4 months to resolve that error by working with a credit repair agency. But that's part of my job, is to work with you as my client until we find the opportunity that's right for you and the best way to finance the business. And so we just stuck with it, checked the letters every 30 days that came from the credit agencies until finally a credit score went above, and then we were able to get a loan to start the business.
If there's a will, there's a way.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Now, again, we have our lines open here. Everyone's getting entered into win. We've got 5 of these books that we're giving away. If it's you or someone you know, the book is called Your Career 2.0, a survival guide for the battered career and investor syndrome. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. So what about if somebody has a 401k? A lot of times people had those companies that they worked for. I did a long time ago that actually matched, right?
That's right.
So they had some decent money. What about people that have that?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I mean, we have seen, even in the Phoenix area in the past few months, some pretty significant layovers from some of our largest employers, right? Honeywell went through a large layoff. Honeywell continues to furlough their employees frequently, meaning they're forced to go on vacation without pay, right? Intel had a large layoff a few months ago. These are Fortune 500 companies that are investing heavily into their employees' retirement accounts, right? And they've got employees that don't like going into work every day or now have been downsized. And so they've got this potentially a severance, potentially a retirement account that can be used to, instead of looking for another job and being back in the cycle in 2.5 years and trying again to find another job that they're going to get downsized from, they can look into a business and take control of their destiny by finding something that's going to help them get to where they want to go.
Well, I know of a lot of people out there that were in that same situation not too long ago, and they have never really been able to recoup on what happened to them, and so they're now just saying, well, I'm just going to take my Social Security early, and sit back and just sort of be sad and work part-time somewhere, when you can actually possibly own your own franchise.
That's right. And franchising isn't really the silver bullet by any means. I mean, a lot of those 170 businesses that I was talking about are actually classified by the Federal Trade Commission as business opportunities or license opportunities. So there's other things, but really the point is that it's about you and it's about the client.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's go ahead and kind of expand on that for me. Go ahead.
Well, that's why we start with the end in mind. Let's work out who you are, what your career background is, what you've done before, what your skills are, what you bring to the table. That helps us identify a business partner, and sometimes that's a franchise and sometimes it's not, that will complement your skills with their skills. So I mentioned before sales. Sales is one of the scariest things about going into business for yourself, right? But you don't have to get into a heavily sales-oriented business, but sometimes you're really good at sales, and your biggest frustration is, can I count on, how do I deliver the products and services after I've sold them? I really want to be relational. I want to be out and about. I want to be talking to people and maintaining those contacts with them. But how do I have time then to service those clients? Well, I would partner with them or suggest that they learn about a completely different business model, one where they can find the clients and then hand them off to their employees that are servicing them, or the franchisor that's servicing them at headquarters.
Well, it's a free service to you, and it seems like a no-brainer to me to at least talk to him, find out if he has a situation that might be perfect for you. So our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You call in, get entered into win. We've got 5 of these books we want to give away. Your Career 2.0, a survival guide for the battered career and investor syndrome. 602-277-5369. Check him out on his website. It's bizstartuphelp.com. I want to, before we give out your number again, some people have a home. They can use that as well.
That's right. Yeah, we talked about home equity as another option. And so sometimes, we've been through a rough housing market here in Phoenix over the past, 8 years or so, but it's coming back up. Sometimes people have equity, and those interest rates are often lower than the business interest rate. So I shared about a 6.5% interest rate with the SBA Express loan. A lot of times, home equity line of credits can be 3%, 4%, and the terms can be longer. Now, there's some negatives. It's a personal loan, right? It's collateralized by your house. So there's some negatives that you have to trade off to get those better terms. But it's just different people have different options. The point is, you probably have more options than you know about, and it doesn't hurt to look into it. There's no risk. There's no cost. There's no obligation to have me help you figure out what business models are out there that match your criteria.
And you have how many, you said, the different kinds?
About 170.
170 different, not all of them are franchises. Many of them are different. And you don't know until you talk to him, have a consultation. Everything that he does is free for you. So, if you know someone or you yourself are in this kind of situation, that's what this show is all about, for you to learn this, get the information out there, call in, get entered into win. Right now we're giving away this book. We've got 5 of them that we're giving away. It's Your Career 2.0, a survival guide for the battered career and investor syndrome. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. I'm going to let everyone keep on calling throughout the rest of the show. Check him out on his website. It is bizstartuphelp.com. Call him. His number is 602-900-9213, and it's free to work with him.